Hello, everybody. I am a Sage and I am Filipino. What this means is that I have gotten early access to the ever awaited Plants vs. Zombies 3. And boy, am I about to be crucified for what I am about to say. I think it's somewhat good now. Okay, before you get the pitchforks, let me break this down for you. I'll tell you my experience, what I think the game improved on, and what I think the game could still improve on. Before anyone asks, yes, I am doing a Crazy Dave cosplay. I don't have a proper saucepan to put on my head, so this will do for now. Got it? Thank you. Plants vs. Zombies has a very unique charm to its gameplay mechanics. You know the iconic 5 lanes, lawnmowers, picking your own plants. The second game that came after that tried to put a little twist to it. You had world gimmicks, you had new kinds of plants, there was plant food, power-ups, even if they were, I guess, the weaker part of the second game. The third game tried to do their best to find their own footing, but failed constantly because every time they did, it felt less and less like Plants vs. Zombies, and more like a generic mobile game you'd see nowadays. It did not help that they were in vertical format. At the time, you couldn't even choose your own plants. The game kept holding your hand. It was way too easy. And when they finally fixed that in the later versions, the game just felt boring. Now, the current version of PvZ3, I think, captures a bit of that essence back, the same ones that the first two games had. However, it's still not quite there yet. First, the game is back in horizontal mode. It's nice. Sun management is back to being shot out in increments of 25 and 50. Power-ups are back, I guess. I mean, I'm never gonna use them. And the leveling system. We'll get into that. A lot of old plants and zombies are back as well, which I don't mind. Bonk Choi in particular was my favorite in PvZ2, and Parasol bleh, and Parasol Zombie is a certified smash.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
What is surprising is the new mechanic the game introduced being fusions. If you're an avid member of the fandom, then you already know that PvZ Fusion exists. Now, seeing that concept in a mainline game is kind of jarring, but honestly, I kind of welcome it. I am cautiously optimistic as to how this would go, but personally, I don't mind. Like, putting the plants together, it's very smooth, it's very fun, and seeing them wreak havoc all over the lawn, it's kind of beautiful. It's about the best things I have to say about the gameplay, but I do have some critiques. The first and the biggest one is that I still think the game is too easy. Like, the hand-holding is no longer prominent, but you could still tell that the game is holding back on you. Even without fusing plants, even if you do the fast forward the entire game, you could really just steamroll through these stages. It's pretty good for casual play, but if you're going into this thinking you're in for a challenge, then you might be a little disappointed. Now, the second big issue I have with the game is the leveling system. When this was introduced in Plants vs. Zombies 2, everybody hated it. It was very unnecessary since the game worked fine just without them. But here in PvZ3, it's basically required. Like, it's an integral part of the game now. You have to use it to unlock the plants and the fusions. And I would say that if they release this globally without this system, it'll be perfect. It's completely unneeded. I have to repeat this. You really don't need this to make a good game. I know they're just doing this for the money, but come on, man. There are other ways you could do this. There's a battle pass. That's right. There's a battle pass as well. It's bull. Like, you really don't need this battle pass. You don't need it. In-app purchases already exist. You can already buy diamonds and coins. You could already do this in the second game. You don't have to do this extra shit just to make a profit. Oh my god, EA, I'm gonna strangle you. Let me distract myself by going to the main menu. You can decorate your lawn. You can harvest plants for leveling materials. And to get materials for those materials, you can play minigames. I think these are actually kind of fun. I wish they weren't here just so you can speed up the harvesting and stuff. I personally think they're kind of cute. They break up the pace of the game. They're kind of lighthearted. They really don't mean much, but I think that's a good thing. They're just supplementary. I will say though, I do miss the classic Zen Garden. I think that was way better than what we have now. Okay, so this section is gonna be a little shorter because I don't have that much to say. But I will say the overly cartoony style of the game can turn some fans off. I personally don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. I have a similar art style myself, not to brag, but I guess I'm just used to that kind of design philosophy. But if you're not into that, then it's perfectly fine. I can see why you wouldn't want to even look in this game's direction. But if you can get past that, then you definitely can find a lot of enjoyment there. It perfectly matches the gameplay style as well. But there are some problems. For example, there are inconsistent asset qualities, and there's some textures clipping on the 3D models of the zombies. And some of the plants just look so ridiculous. Look at Tallnut, man! Look at how they massacred my boy! There's stuff like spikeweed being, I guess, too tall, but that's just kind of a nitpick. And everything looks like it's from a kid's show. Like, if they turn this into a cartoon, you could probably see, actually, they probably could turn this into a cartoon, huh? Now, granted, it's still in early access. Remember, nothing in this game is final, so they could easily fix these issues or change these designs for later, which I really hope they do. Now, for the audio, actually, they're pretty good too. If there's one thing that the entire franchise does right, it's the audio. The music is good, the sound effects aren't too overwhelming, unless it's the final wave, where it can start to get a bit hectic, but that happens in all the games. So really, you're good. I guess the only thing that's lacking is Laura Shigihara should go back to composing for this game, man. I really miss her. I intended to make this part about the lore and the story of the game, but let's face it, that's the least important part of this franchise. So unless you're a bit of a lore head and want to hear about it, follow me, I might try to do it in a future video. Instead, I wanted to go into a deeper question, something that I feel like should be the crux of whether or not this game deserves a future. Is it fun to play, really? The truth is, the game is fun, if you're a casual player like myself. With how short and fast-paced everything is, PvZ3 seems like it was meant to be one of those games you play in your downtime and progress bit by bit instead of just binging the whole game or speedrunning through it like you could with the first two. You still have the freedom of strategizing your plans and deciding what fusions to do, but there's not a lot of thought that has to be put into it. I think that's perfectly fine for me. If you're a hardcore fan who just wants to see the game at its fullest potential, then I understand why you could be disappointed. But personally, I can see myself finishing the game despite this big flaw. The only thing that would turn me off is, again, the leveling system and the battle pass. But the fact that the game is more catered toward casual players it's okay. If you want a challenge, then fan games do exist. PvZ Fusion is still out there. It really does depend on your mindset. If you come into this game assuming it's gonna be bad, then it will be bad. But if you look at it with a more open mind, then you can at least find some merits in this latest version. Of course, this doesn't discount any of the critiques I just gave for the game. I really hate how much they mobile-fied everything. But if the game has to be delayed yet again for it to be improved further, then maybe we have a shot at another great mainline game. Plants vs. Zombies 3 isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it still has a lot to work out before it can be accepted by the wide majority. I consider myself to be a rather cautious optimist. So, I'm hopeful that the game can improve further without needing another 10 years to reimagine itself. I really love the PvZ community. I watch people like Zack Scott, Ramen Roman, and freaking Shagrod all the time. They inspired me to make videos like this to share my voice and to hopefully inspire others to do the same. I feel like if everybody can make EA listen, then maybe we could finally take a few steps in the right direction. But knowing EA, they're probably gonna take a few steps back too. Until then, I'm gonna just stick to PvZ Fusion. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first video essay ever, so it's gonna be very flawed. If you like this, if you want to see me improve, then please like the video, comment down anything that, anything I could work on, and subscribe. Please ignore all my old videos, those are very ass. See you next time. What are you looking at me for?